Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review slash thoughts on this one. Because for this one, I'm going to be taking a look at XCloud and GamePass, to give you my thoughts on it after trying it out for a bit. That's now, as some of you are aware, now available on ISO devices though. Plus, I want to give my thoughts on the movie Black Widow that I just recently saw and all. But we'll get started with the XCloud part though. Now, one of the things that Microsoft has been pushing lately, as we've seen, is the whole idea of GamePass and everything like that. But other strategies they've been pushing though, it's been that they want to get GamePass on as many devices out there as possible though. Now, whether they can succeed on that remains to be seen. There may be some companies out there that don't want it on their devices or anything like that. Some of it mostly towards Apple and some of their ridiculous policies and so forth though. But Microsoft has been pushing really hard to get this out, and they certainly aren't giving up or anything like that though. Well, recently this month though, we learned that basically it has been confirmed that basically that GamePass / XCloud is now available on ISO devices, even though it's sort of in a, as the heading shows, sort of in a beta and all that stuff. And while it's far from being perfect in any way though, I definitely see the potential and what Microsoft is trying to do with it though. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons over it, and we'll start off first with the pros. And one of the pros though is basically that you could really use like different kinds of controllers for it though. I've been trying out the XCloud / GamePass on my iMac though, and I've been using the, if I have it right over here, the PS4 controller on it, and amazingly it works well and all that stuff. I mean, the idea of playing a game like Halo Master Chief Collection using a PS4 controller sounds a bit insane, but it does work, and it's definitely nice though that basically you can use like pretty much the Xbox controller or the PS4 controller though. It is worth pointing out that there are games that do support touchscreen, but not every game is going to be available on it though. I'm kind of mixed with the whole issue with touchscreens though. I think they can work, but not every game is going to benefit over it though. But it is an option that's there if you want to use it though. But either way, it's nice that you could do different controllers, especially if you have a PS4 controller though. The next thing I do want to talk about is the selection of games, and a lot of the games they have are pretty good at all that, especially if you have basically GamePass though. So it's definitely nice to have all the good selections of games, and if you're part of GamePass, that's certainly great though. Plus, what I really like about it is that if you're not sure if you want to download this game onto your Xbox Series X or S or Xbox One, assuming it could run on the Xbox One though, you could try the game via, the cloud streaming. Give it a go, and if you do enjoy it though, you might want to consider maybe downloading it on your system. So I definitely like this approach that they did with XCloud / GamePass, through ISO though. It's worth pointing out it's also on PC too though, and this definitely can be useful, especially if you're a GamePass subscriber though. And last but certainly not least, one thing I do like is to be able to or it's actually the way they save your game and all that stuff. So, for example, I'm playing Yakuza 0 on my Xbox Series S, and when I go on, and maybe if I want to do a short session, or if I want to play something quickly before I go to work, and basically I don't have time to turn on, I just want to just get into a game session very quickly though, I could do that, just leap into my with my Microsoft account, go straight into XCloud, and play Yakuza 0 on my iMac though. Play for a little bit, save my game, and then when I get home and I have more time though, I can finish where I left off if I'm playing it on my Xbox Series S though. I mean, this is a really neat idea that it's a really neat thing about XCloud in general though. The fact that you could have your save games, which is via the cloud, play a bit of it on your computer or tablet or phone, assuming you have a good connection though, and then maybe finish where you left off on your Xbox Series S though. While I won't go as far as saying it will overtake something like the Nintendo Switch, it's still a really neat idea and all that stuff. So I definitely like what Microsoft has done with this approach though. So, and like I said, you could try it out before downloading the game though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, which are the cons, plus my thoughts on basically the movie Black Widow. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review slash thoughts of XCloud slash GamePass on ISO devices, though it is worth pointing out it's also available, I believe, on PC as well, not to mention Android, iPhones, and all that. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there are 3 cons I could think of, though. 2 of them are pretty obvious, especially for cloud gaming in general, and one is definitely mostly has to do with games on GamePass, though, to be exact. The first one we do want to talk about is that is the connection, though. Now, I will say my experience with XCloud slash GamePass on ISO devices, or I should say on my iMac, has been it's been pretty good and all that stuff. That said, being this is a cloud gaming, being this is cloud streaming, all that stuff, your connection is going to vary, though, and there are times when basically, though, the connection isn't always going to be perfect, though. One example was where I work, though. I had pretty much had a hard time, even with the Wi-Fi turning on, connecting to the servers to try to take advantage of XCloud slash GamePass on my iPhone and all that, though. Not so much here at home and all, but in other places, though, your connection will vary, though, and some of that will depend on how solid the internet connection or the Wi-Fi connection is. So your connections are going to be very varied, though, and this is probably one of many issues with cloud gaming and game streaming in general, though. The next issue, though, is going to be lag, though, and this could have an impact on some of the games you have played, though, or some of the games you do play. Like I mentioned, going back to when I had trouble with the internet connection over at work, though, even when I turned the Wi-Fi off and tried to play the game, there were issues of lags. I mean, I had a hard time playing games like Nier Automata or Halo Master Chief Collection, though. The game made it barely unplayable, trying to basically do everything that I wanted to do, but it just made it just horrible to even play the game, though. Compared to here at home, over here at home, though, where my internet, though, it was a bit more tolerable. I was still able to accomplish what I want to accomplish, though, but it certainly was way better than where I was at work. So lag can also be a problem, especially when you're trying to do a first-person shooter, like say Doom, where you're basically trying to hit a button, though, and there might be a delay and all that. So it could have an impact on certain games, though. Maybe not a huge impact on every game out there, but some games that are fast-paced or some games that requires patience, maybe like a Dark Souls or a game like Doom or Doom Eternal, it could be an issue. So lag could definitely be an issue on certain games, though, and some of that will depend on how solid the internet connection is wherever you are, though. And last but not least, though, not every game's going to be available on XCloud and all. And while and that might be an issue for certain games out there. While this may not be a big issue for, say, first-party games like, say, Dishonored Definitive Edition or Fallout 4 or Halo Master Chief Collection, though. While this may not be a huge issue for those games, though, third-party games could be a bit tricky with third-party games, since most games do rotate out of Game Pass, though. This is part of, the whole Netflix style of approach, though, that Microsoft is taking, though, which means that unless the game is available on Game Pass, or if it's available on XCloud in general, though, you won't be able to take advantage of it. So not every game is available out there right now. Now, that doesn't mean the game may not be available in the foreseeable future. We know they're adding games to it, though, so over time the library will grow, though. But bear in mind, not every single game will be available on the XCloud slash Game Pass if you're using it on ISO devices or, your PC and all. Overall, I have to say the XCloud slash Game Pass, though, is Not bad though, but not perfect or anything like that. I like the fact that you can use different controllers though. The idea of playing Halo Master Chief Collection with a PS4 controller sounds insane, but it works though. They definitely have a good selection of games, especially if you're a GamePass user and all that. And the save feature in the game is really good, especially since you can like play a short session like on your like iMac, and then save your game and then continue where you left off on your Xbox Series S or X or Xbox One, depending on which Xbox you own though. But like anything, being this is a cloud service, being this is or should I say a game streaming or cloud gaming service though, there are two big impacts on the game though. Connection and lag though. And depending on where you are though, your connection will vary. You might have a good connection or you might have a terrible connection though. And lag could be a problem, especially with certain games that requires a quick reflex or timing and all that. That could become a problem for certain games there. And last but not least though, not all games will be available unless they start putting it through the XCloud or if it's available on GamePass though. Again, not an issue with first-party games. Third-party games might be an issue and also there are certainly some hurdles that have to be overcome before this becomes like really starts to take off and everything like that. Do I think XCloud / GamePass on ISO has potential? Yes, there are certainly things I do like about it though. There are some issues they have to address though. Some of it is going to be beyond their control, such as we need to look at better internet or Wi-Fi infrastructure and all, but I definitely see the potential and definitely see what Microsoft is trying to do with this though. Do I think it will overtake the Nintendo Switch? Not really though. While I think cloud gaming has potential, I don't think it will overtake the Nintendo Switch, because at least with the Nintendo Switch though, depending on depending on what game you're playing though, I don't have to worry about an always online or Wi-Fi or cloud game streaming connection though, although that will depend on the type of game you're getting though. But for the majority of games I play, I don't have to worry about that as much though. So my takeaway is that it does have XCloud does have potential. I see what Microsoft is trying to do with it, and I think over time it could succeed though. But like Stadia, like GeForce Now though, it's cloud, being that it's cloud gaming though, there are still some hurdles that have to be overcome before it becomes the new norm. But I do like the fact that it's available for those who have GamePass, and it's definitely something that you can use or just basically ignore altogether though. So I will say it's not perfect, but it certainly does have potential indeed. Alright, before I end this video, I want to give my thoughts on the movie Black Widow, which I just recently saw when I was out and went to the movie theaters though. And I have to say though, I actually enjoyed this movie though. One of the things I took away from it though is that basically it definitely gave off a little bit of a Captain America Winter Soldier vibe out of it, and that certainly isn't a bad thing though. Do I think it will overtake Winter Soldier? Not really though, but it is nice to see Scarlett Johansson return to play Black Widow though. It is kind of interesting that they decided to do a Black Widow movie, considering the fact that this feels like it should have been part of Marvel's MCU's Phase 3 and all that stuff, although the end scene credit kind of sort of makes it gives you the reason why though. So it's definitely nice to see the backstory of Black Widow and all, and especially seeing what looks like the Russian version of Captain America known as the Red Guardian, which kind of makes me wish to some extent I would have loved to see a scene between Captain America and the Red Guardian. That would have been awesome on so many levels. Seeing the Red Guardian though, I definitely would have loved to see that. And it basically follows Scarlet, Black Widow's past, basically her trying to uncover basically what is the Red Room, the room that basically trained her to become this assassin and all that, and try to destroy it though. So it was really neat though, and I do think it is a good movie, especially if you were a fan of, say, like Winter Soldier and all. You'll probably enjoy this one because it follows a similar style though. One thing I will say about the end credit scene, though I don't want to spoil it though, is it does kind of set the stage for what I suspect could be giving you an idea what the next upcoming Marvel TV show on Disney Plus might be. Plus the actress that they have in that end credit scene, though. Let's just say she was on a popular TV show back in the 90s, a show about basically nothing, to being on a show about being the president of the United States of America. So I'm pretty sure you have a good idea who this actress is, though. But in either way, I enjoyed Black Widow. I thought it was good. Maybe not overtaking Winter Soldier, but still, as a fan of the MCU, it still is enjoyable, nevertheless. Okay, this concludes my review / thoughts of XCloud and GamePass on ISO devices, or on ISO in general, plus my thoughts on the movie Black Widow. And again, these are my opinions. What are yours? What are your thoughts about XCloud in general? Have you tried it out yet? Have you tried it out now that it's available on iMac or anything like that? Do you like the fact that you can use different controllers? Are you a GamePass user? Do you like the selection of games, or the fact that you can play the games that you have on GamePass that is available on XCloud, though? Do you think internet is an issue with you or not an issue? Do you think that lag is an issue or not an issue at all, though? Do you see any ideas of where they could expand upon, basically, XCloud and GamePass in general? And what are your thoughts about the movie Black Widow? Did you see it, though? Are you glad to see an MCU movie back in theaters, or did you watch it through the premium on Disney Plus, though? You glad that they did a Black Widow movie, or do you feel like this could have been more fit into, like, this should have been shown during Marvel's Phase 3 and all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!